Today on Close Calls. Teenagers tear around a track in high-powered go-karts, all bidding to be the best. But as they enter a bend, water on the track sends some spinning out of control, resulting in a terrifying moment as a 13-year-old girl slams into a wall. A race marshal reaches her first. Then her parents.
As soon as the track had gone red flag, we all jumped over the fence and ran to the children.
I went right next to her. Yeah, you're thinking, what am I going to see? What damage is there going to be to her?
Grantham, Lincolnshire. An on-board action camera records as a 13-year-old girl races at high speed in a go-kart competition. She's pushing the kart to its limit, hitting speeds of up to 70 miles an hour. Her proud dad is watching from the stands.
I just saw her come past me, and I could see her then going in the corner.
She accelerates. But something goes horribly wrong. "13-year-old Macie lives in Norfolk with her mum Amanda and dad Jamie. They're a tight-knit family.
No, that's not funny.
Me, mum and dad are very close. We do everything together, like literally everything.
Macie's a great character. She's a lot of fun, bit of a handful sometimes.
That's not natural.
She's very grown up. You know, some of the things that she'll come out with just amazes me and will bring tears to my eyes, just how proud and grown up she's become.
Through the week, like most teenagers, Macie is busy with schoolwork. But weekends bring a different challenge. They're spent at the racetrack, where Macie competes at a high level in junior go-karts with mum and dad as her support team.
It's everything I love about it, really. From being in the kart, from looking at the kart, putting your suit on, your boots on, trying to go out there and win. Getting on the podium is amazing. The feeling of standing there and holding the trophy up is pretty cool.
Macie's passion for motorsports runs in the family. Dad Jamie was a successful racer himself on two wheels.
When I first met Amanda, I was racing bikes at the time.
I remember us having, I think, a single bed that we'd both squeeze into and sleep in the back of a van to go racing.
Jamie collected more than 100 trophies and was crowned British champion in his class in 2002. Macie has serious ambitions for her own sporting career.
I'd like to even get further than he did. Hopefully we can go cars and get all the way up to F1.
But to get there, she'll need all the help her parents and sponsors can give her. It's a team effort every weekend to get her out on the track.
Every night my mum's coming home from work, straight away on the computer, emailing people, trying to get as many sponsors as she possibly can. Dad's out most night in the kart workshop, trying to get everything ready for the weekend.
Then we were away and we were back Sunday night, unloading the motorhome, and then it all starts again for the week.
It's a serious business and fraught with danger. The karts reach speeds of up to 70 miles an hour. It's something Amanda and Jamie have to deal with every time their daughter takes to the track.
It's nerve-wracking. Deep down, you're just like, I don't care where you come, I just want you to come back safely and be okay.
Mum is probably one of the funniest persons to watch when I'm racing. If you see her, her arms are waving around everywhere when I'm going around.
Oh my God, Macie, come on, come on. Oh.
In any form of motorsport, it can be dangerous. You know, people do get hurt in karting, you know, seriously. And you just hope it's never going to be you.
But one late summer weekend, it is. A freak accident threatens to put an end to Macie's racing ambitions and her life. It's a pleasant Saturday in September. Macie, Jamie and Amanda are at the PFI track in Grantham.
We went into the weekend thinking it was going to be really good. You know, the track was drying out.
The day wasn't a bad day, it was quite nice weather. We've raced there about 3 years now.
So I'm quite familiar with the track.
The event takes place over 2 days, with the races on Sunday and Saturday given over to practice sessions and qualifying laps to decide starting positions. Macie completes her first 2 practice sessions without a hitch. The whole family have high hopes for a good result.
I got in some good times, practice sessions were good, so we pretty much thought it was going to be a good weekend.
We were looking forward to it. We were thinking we should be in top 10.
The third practice session starts around 11 o'clock. Macie and Dad Jamie take the cart to the starting grid.
We both go down to the grid together. I'll warm up the engine before we put it down on a dummy grid. What it is the grid ready for you to go onto circuit.
Macie has an action camera on board her cart. It's recording as the practice session starts and other drivers head out onto the track. She waits to follow behind the fastest of them.
You have like the front runners, so I want to be as fast as them. So there's a thing called toe, where you want to sit behind them and be in their toe suit. You're getting the fast speeds.
It's giving a little bit of a carrot to see that someone who's going quick to try and keep with them.
Macie sets off. She accelerates towards the first corner, heading underneath the bridge section of the track. Mum Amanda watches from the stands.
I can see her go onto the bridge. Now, the bridge at PFI is considered the most dangerous part. You don't really have a runoff, so you always think, let's just get under that bridge and see the other side and I can breathe a little bit.
Safely through, Macie starts chasing down the carts ahead of her.
Practice is the same as kind of racing in a way, in the sense that you are testing your cart to the limits.
The cart felt good. I was just going around seeing if they could get any overtakes at all.
She's driving with dry weather tyres known as slicks, which stick to the track once they warm up to provide grip.
The warmer tyres are, the more grip you're going to have.
A lot of cars, they look like they're swerving, but basically what that means is they're trying to get the heat on the tyre so the tyre sticks to the track.
Dad Jamie takes a seat in the stands near the start line just as Macie is finishing her first lap. She accelerates along the straight, travelling at up to 70 miles an hour.
You sort of duck down so the wind goes over top of you, so you can get down that straight as fast as possible.
I just saw her come past me. She's going into the right hand at the end of the start-finish straight.
And you don't lift off at all, so you're going under the bridge at flat out.
But Jamie spots trouble ahead.
I could just see in the distance that there'd been a few carts go off.
On the track, Macie can't see the other carts in difficulty. She hurtles into the first corner. But then... Macie enters the corner at around 60 miles an hour. She hits a patch of water on the track. It's come from a faulty cart ahead of her.
I felt the rear end of my cart start to sort of slide round.
The slick tyres suddenly lose grip. She's powerless as the cart skids sideways. A driver behind smashes into her as she careers towards the padded wall underneath the bridge.
I brought my body forward to try and not injure my back.
She hits the wall hard, her head whiplashing sideways with the impact. Several other competitors have also crashed out, their battered carts scattering debris across the track. Macie is knocked unconscious in the impact. When she comes to, her screams can be heard trackside.
I was just in so much pain and I was in so much shock.
Macie signals frantically for help. She's in serious danger as other racers continue to fly past at speed.
And I was also stuck under the barrier, so I couldn't move at all.
Race marshals wave red flags signalling the other carts to stop immediately. In the grandstand, Amanda hasn't seen the crash, but she hasn't seen Macie emerge from the tunnel either.
I overheard someone say there's a big crash under the bridge. You don't want to think the worst. And then you could hear her screaming, sorry, that wells me up already. And you're just thinking, oh, and she, you know, is she okay?
Jamie rushes trackside as near as he can get to his daughter's position. The scene is chilling.
There was a lot of people getting out of their carts, and I could just see in the distance that Macie wasn't getting out of the cart. It was scary. It was very, very scary.
Now back to a young woman who has an absolute love of speed, but of course with speed comes the danger of serious accidents, and she's just had one. In Grantham, Lincolnshire, 13-year-old go-kart racer Macie has crashed at 60 miles an hour on a practice lap. She smashed sideways into a wall under a bridge and been hit from behind by another cart. She's conscious, but screaming in pain.
Exhausted, got into my back. My hand, I couldn't move my hand properly, so I was scared, and I was trying to sort of get help from someone.
Race marshals wave red flags to stop other drivers, and one of them reaches Macie, reassuring her help is on the way. Macie's terrified parents, Jamie and Amanda, are at opposite ends of the grandstand. Jamie is closest. He rushes to his daughter's side.
As soon as the track had gone red flag, we all jumped over the fence and ran to the children because there was a lot of other people there. Macie wasn't getting out of the cart, so that made me a little bit nervous.
And he was like, what's happened, what's happened?
She knew she had pain. Her neck was hurting, her back was hurting. I think she was worried that she'd done something quite seriously to her hand.
On site, paramedics arrive and start to assess Macie's injuries. Next to reach her is mum, Amanda.
I went right next to her. Yeah, you're thinking, what am I going to see? What damage is there going to be to her? And you can't get emotional in front of them because you've got to be strong for them. So no matter how you're feeling, you have to you have to hold it in.
Medics check for damage to Macie's spine before they decide whether to move her.
They said where the pain was coming from, her neck and her back wasn't too much of a worry. They were quite happy that they could take her out of the cart.
Macie is slowly lifted out of the mangled cart and taken to an on-site ambulance to be checked over.
They were just feeling my fingers, feeling my back and seeing what was bruised or broken.
Yeah, she was shaking a lot. She's like, oh, I thought I'd lost my fingers. I can't feel my hand.
They were cut open. They just looked honestly dreadful, and every part of my body just ached.
Paramedics are concerned Macie could have internal injuries. She needs to go to hospital for further tests. On the way, she's overwhelmed by fears for her future in the sport.
I was obviously scared, and I thought the cart's wrecked.
She was really tearful all the way back. She was just like, oh, this is it. We can't do it no more, can we?
It was a bad accident, and I didn't think that would ever happen to me. I knew maybe there'd be a few crashes, but not anything like that.
And it was rather than her worrying about herself, it was more about the fact that she couldn't do what she loved.
On arrival, she's immediately placed on a spinal board. Worried dad Jamie takes these photographs. Doctors perform an MRI scan to check for damage to her neck and back. They find Macie has tissue damage, but has escaped serious injury.
Confirmed that there was no damage to, or long-term damage to her spine.
An X-ray of the 13-year-old's hand, which is badly cut and bruised, shows it isn't broken. It's all good news.
I still couldn't feel my fingers, but it was definitely going to recover quickly.
You're just relieved, you know, as a mum, you're relieved that your child is okay, that nothing is going to change her life.
Macie's beloved go-kart, however, hasn't fared so well.
The side pods and the front of the cart was all completely bent in, so we definitely knew that the cart was pretty much done.
Macie is now fully recovered and back racing in a new kart. But after watching the footage from that day, the whole family realises the outcome could have been very different.
The whole injury could have been a lot worse. The whole accident could have been a lot worse.
What I'm grateful for is that there was a protection there and that proves a point of how important all of these barriers are, and she's got medics there. That emergency service right at her side within seconds.
I definitely came very lucky. It was a really scary crash, but I know now if I have a bad crash, I can get back out there.
And it hasn't dented her love for the sport. She's even plotting her next step up the racing ladder, from karts to cars.
It hasn't held me back from my dream at all. I mean, I still want to get as far to the top as I possibly can, which is F1.
Formula One, eh? Well, good luck to her. I hope she makes it. See you next time on Close Calls.